Hi everyone, I am Jitendra and I am here to share my knowledge on coherent self-organizing maps. Let's start the session. So, first of all, we need to know what is a self-organizing map. So, what are they? Self-organizing maps are unsupervised neural networks that cluster high-dimensional data. That means in machine learning we have clustering topics, right? So, for clustering we use some algorithms. So, in the same way, in the neural networks, it is a clustering neural network. Okay, it's not just a neural network, but it is a 2D high dimensional neural network. So uh, we have many features in this. Let's discuss all the things. Okay, then every input is linked with the every neuron in the data. Okay, transform complex inputs into easy to understand two-dimensional outputs. This helps much rather than the clustering techniques in the machine learning. Okay, then once you check this, find clusters in large powerful visualizations applications in any field. These are the things. And clustering in medical topics, like if there is a disease spreading in the society, so we can use this technique to know which areas got spreaded much and which areas are safe, and in that way this SOM will be helpful. And we'll check the functioning of SOM later. First we'll check the uses and how it is used, where it is used. Okay, so if we take like these are some maps, so it will observe all the things and it will cluster the things where the disease is spreading. And here we have the training process: initialize neural network weights, randomly select an input and select the winning neuron using Euclidean distance, update neuron weights, go back to the second step until the training phase is done. So if you think x1, x2, x3 are some neurons. Okay, so w1, w2, w3 are the weights. So at first we don't have weights for the neural network, right? So we initialize with some random things. Okay, initialize neural network weights, so initialize with random values. Then we take the input. So here the SOM plays a major role. That means we select the winning neuron using Euclidean distance. Means we follow the Euclidean distance between the weights and the node. Okay, then we find the Euclidean distance and the which has the lesser Euclidean distance, and that will be the winner node. Okay, winner neuron node. Once if you check here, we have d1 equal to square root of sigma I equal to 1 to 3 x1 minus wij whole square. So this is the Euclidean sum of for the d1, that is for the neuron 1, node 1. So we got that is 23.5, and for the second one 15.2, and the third one 31.6. So for the second input we got lesser. That means we got the Euclidean distance very lesser. So we take this and we update the weights. So we update the weights by using this. We'll do a problem at last. For now we'll observe the training process, how it is done. Okay, so for updating the weights, we have delta w ji equal to n of t. That means the training value, means the training constant, tj, and these terms will be explained now. Okay, here small t is nothing but epoch, I is a neuron, j is another neuron, and l of j is the winning neuron. So here if you observe j, l, t, I, j, I, these all the things are the definitions. Then learning rate, that is nothing but n of t I said, and the lateral distance between neurons is sji, wj minus wi, and neighborhood size is this one. Okay, how does dimensionality reduction occur in this also? Okay, in SOM also dimensionality reduction may occur. Okay, so we have to be careful with it, and we have some steps to reduce that. Okay, and after training, what may be the output and what will be the output? So if you check, SOM were trained on 3D images to construct a 3D head model. If you check here, we have the input image and the network weights. So network weights will be adjusted when it is updating using the SOM. Those will be modified properly to adjust with the input image. Okay, this is the thing. And the review, that means applicable to any field, simplifies complex information, means it is also we know that how the clustering occurs. That means it takes by finding the patterns, means it clusters the data by finding the patterns. Okay, that is the main thing. And coming to the example, so construct KSOFM to cluster 4 given vectors, like we have 0011, 1000, 0110 and 0001. These are some 4 vectors, and we have to use KSOFM, that is coherent self-organizing maps, to cluster the data. So number of input vectors equal to 4 and the number of clusters equal to 2. They said that number of clusters to be formed is 2. Assume an initial learning rate of 5. We said that n of t, that is nothing but alpha, that is learning rate, that is 0.5. If you check here, we have 4 input vectors, x1, x2, x3, x4, and clusters to be formed are y1 and y2. So between all these we'll have, means for every vector will match with the 2 clusters. Okay, so w11, w12, w21, w22. In the same way, the weights will be updated. Okay, so first of all, initializing the weights randomly between 0 and 1. So we are randomly taken some inputs. So first input vector is 0011. So we find the Euclidean distance, that is dj. Dj is nothing but d1. So for the first vector, that is d1. So if you find the Euclidean distance, we got 4, and the for the second thing, we got Euclidean distance nearly 2.04. So which is lesser? 0.4 is lesser. That means we find the Euclidean distance between a vector and the the node, that is the cluster y1. First we find the Euclidean distance between x1, x2, x3, x4 and y, and then next we find the Euclidean distance between the same vectors and the second cluster. So in both clusters, which cluster is having lesser Euclidean distance? So we found that 0.4, that is d1. So updating weights also have the formula, that is wij new equal to, means a new weight equal to old weight plus learning rate into xi minus wij old. Okay, this is the formula. So we follow this to update the weights of the fields. In the same way, we updated all the weights, and then next we took this is the updated weight matrix, and then next we use the second input vector, and same we calculate the Euclidean distance, and that is d1 and d2. We got a 2.3 and 0.84. Now we got that the second cluster is lesser than the first one. So we again update the weights using that Euclidean distance, and then next we find for the third vector, and we'll get some d1 and d2. Here d1 is lesser, and then next we again change the weights, and then next we go for the fourth vector. We got a d1 equal to 1.475 and d2 equal to 1.81. Now winning cluster is again the d1. So we again update the weights. So finally we got the weights as 0.025, 0.3, 0.45, 0.475, 0.95, 0.35, 0.25 and 0.15. These are the weights of the nodes. Okay, and clusters, that means between the clusters and the vectors. Okay, these are the things, and this will be a good turning point in our deep learning and machine learning things. Okay, when coming to the explanation of this coherent self-organizing maps, this is a bit easy thing, so try to find good ways and good results from it. Thank you for the lecture.